Kitadate Canal, World Heritage Irrigation Structures, picture story. Let's get started. This picture story show depicts the great deeds of Toshinaga Kitadate, the lord of Karikawa Castle, who laid the foundation for the development of the Shonai Plain in Yamagata Prefecture. The story goes back to the year 1600, 420 years ago. This time marked the end of the Warring States period, in which land-owning warriors repeatedly fought to expand their own territory over more than 100 years, and the beginning of the Edo shogunate, in which the Tokugawa shoguns ruled the nation. The Shonai region, where the story takes place, was ruled by Yoshiaki Mogami, the lord of the Yamagata domain, who served the Tokugawa shoguns. Since the Yamagata domain covered several regions, castles were built in each region, and the lord of the domain appointed a lord of the castle to govern the region. One day, Yoshiaki summoned his vassal, Toshinaga, and said,
I appoint you the lord of Karikawa Castle in Shonai. Rule it well. With the Mogami River flowing through it in vast land, Karikawa is a very beautiful place. It is a great honor. I humbly accept,
Toshinaga replied. In 1601, Toshinaga was assigned to Karikawa Castle. When he looked out over the Shonai Plain from the castle, he was shocked by the sight. Although it was a plain, it was an endless wasteland of wilderness. And all the farmers were penniless. Toshinaga wondered, why don't these farmers grow more rice? The area was supposed to be suitable for rice cultivation because of the abundant water from the Mogami River. But in reality, the river level is 3 meters lower than the land, making it impossible to use the water for agricultural purposes. Farmers relied on the stream and spring water from the mountains to irrigate their crops. However, when the drought persisted, the water sources dried up, preventing them from expanding their rice paddies. I want to somehow increase rice production and enrich the lives of these farmers. Is there an abundant source of water for irrigation available? Toshinaga prayed to the gods and Buddha for the fulfillment of their great aspirations and ran around mountains, rivers, and valleys day and night in search of water sources, forgetting to eat or sleep as they searched from place to place. He was so enthusiastic that some people even said,
looky here, it's the lord of the waterfalls.
After about 10 years of research, Toshinaga concluded that the water could be sourced from the Tachiyazawa River, a tributary of the Mogami River that receives a significant amount of snowmelt water from Mount Gasan. It is said that the surveying method was called lantern surveying, in which lanterns were lit at night to measure the difference in elevation, unlike today's surveying techniques that use high-performance equipment. There were two possible methods of obtaining water from the Tachiyazawa River: digging a canal tunnel through the mountain or bypassing the mountain. However, digging a canal tunnel was not feasible with the technology of the time, so the method of bypassing the mountain was chosen. In this case, however, it was expected that it would be difficult to reclaim the fast-flowing Mogami River, build a canal platform, and construct a canal above the platform. In 1611, the design for the canal excavation work was completed, and Toshinaga requested permission to construct it from his lord, Yoshiaki. Yoshiaki realized the importance of the works and convened an imperial council meeting with the primary castle lords. Akiyasu Shimura, a lord of Kamegasaki Castle, said,
the war is finally over, and now is time to rest. It would be impossible to carry out the work, much less a canal platform on the Mogami River.
On the other hand, Hisamasa Nezuki, a lord of Fujishima Castle, said,
this area is running out of irrigation water, and people are short of food today. If this project is not done now, the people will be scattered and the land will become a wilderness.
Opinions were divided, and Yoshiaki was troubled. Later, Yoshiaki secretly summoned Wakasa, a master carpenter he trusted, to investigate the credibility of the project. Wakasa reported his findings to Yoshiaki. The construction is feasible according to Toshinaga's plans. Finally, Yoshiaki gave the go-ahead and construction began on March 5, 1612. The first step was to start at the water intake of the Tachiyazawa River. The construction method involved manpower tactics, digging the ground with hoes and plows, carrying rocks with mokos, and breaking large rocks by setting fire on them to make them brittle. The workforce of 7,420 workers per day was mobilized from the surrounding areas. Once construction began, the work continued day and night, and at first, things went smoothly, but on the 13th day of the construction, a large rock suddenly fell on the workers at the construction site near the Goshono Oji Shrine, crushing 16 of them to death. Toshinaga held a memorial service for the victims for 7 days and resumed construction. However, since the Oji Mound had been moved to the top of the mountain for the construction, and most of the dead workers were under Akiyasu's command, Akiyasu began to disrupt the construction by spreading a rumor that it was the curse of the Oji Mound. In addition, as each magistrate proceeded with the construction on his own, the work became inconsistent.
This won't do,
Toshinaga said.
Please give me full command of the construction. If the work is not completed in 3 years, I will commit seppuku and apologize to you.
Toshinaga begged his lord Yoshiaki. Faced with Toshinaga's desperate wish, Yoshiaki approved his request and instructed the magistrates at the construction site.
All of Toshinaga's orders are to be taken as mine and obeyed.
The story goes that as the difficult construction work had continued, Toshinaga was lost in thought night after night and occasionally saw a bright pillar of fire rising in the eastern sky. Toshinaga wondered what the fire was, and when he went through the bushes, he found Fudo Myo sitting there in a dignified manner in the burning fire. Toshinaga immediately bowed down and prayed that the construction would be completed. Well, as construction progressed, we finally approached the most difficult part of the project. It was the abyss of the Mogami River, which gurgles and rages and swirls. It had to be filled. A canal platform had to be built, and a canal had to be laid. A large number of workers tried to fill the abyss by breaking rocks, driving stakes, and throwing in earth and stones. But the earth and stones were washed away overnight. The next day, and the day after that, they continued to fill it in, but it was all washed away, and it was all in vain. This process was repeated for 5 days, but there was no sign of filling. The workers feared that a monster might be living in the abyss, and their enthusiasm for construction waned from day to day. The project became almost impossible, and Toshinaga prepared to commit seppuku, saying,
Fortune is not in my favor, and my destiny has run out.
After a few moments of meditation, Toshinaga suddenly removed the blue-shelled saddle family heirloom from his horse, tied a large stone to the saddle, and threw it into the swirling abyss.
Let this abyss be filled.
Toshinaga prayed desperately to God. Then the raging, whirling surface of the river instantly became calm.
This is it, now.
After a life-threatening struggle, a canal platform was successfully completed, and Toshinaga had broken through the biggest obstacle in the construction. From then on, construction proceeded smoothly, and on July 21st, 1612, the 10.8-kilometer waterway was finally completed, marking the end of the project. A grand celebration was held, and it is said that both Hisamasa, who has supported the construction, and Akiyasu, who had been critical of the project, were grateful for Toshinaga's hard work. Later, this waterway was named Kitadate Canal in honor of Toshinaga Kitadate's achievement. Toshinaga died on July 20th, 1625, at the age of 78, and was buried in Kinryu Temple. Today, local residents revere Toshinaga as a Kitadate water god and worship him at Kitadate Shrine. In August 2018, the Kitadate Canal was registered as one of the World Heritage Irrigation Structures for its significant contribution not only to the irrigated agriculture, but also to the local economic development.